of the story sets the stage for an epic HFY, humans are special, narrative, by establishing both the alien perspective and the mysterious, understated power of humanity. It opens with the galactic empire of Tharnok, a civilization long accustomed to dominance across the stars. The Tharnok are described as a proud, technologically advanced, and militaristic species. They have conquered countless worlds, subjugated other species, and firmly believe in the invincibility of their empire. Their worldview is shaped by the assumption that superior firepower, numbers, and intimidation are sufficient to maintain control in the galaxy. The scene is set aboard the flagship of Admiral Karath, a seasoned commander whose confidence and arrogance reflect the Empire's long history of unchallenged victories. The humans arrive suddenly and silently, their ships slipping into the Tharnok system. The description emphasizes that the humans' vessels appear primitive in comparison to the alien fleet. They are smaller, slower, and seemingly ill-equipped for battle. This visual contrast immediately frames the story's central theme. Humans are underestimated by the galaxy because their outward appearance, technology, and tactics seem unimpressive when judged by conventional alien metrics. Despite this apparent vulnerability, there is an aura of quiet menace surrounding the humans. The text hints at an intangible quality, something the aliens cannot easily measure or anticipate, which foreshadows humanity's hidden strength and ingenuity. The story introduces the first major turning point when a lone alien emissary communicates a warning to the Tharnok fleet. The emissary, described as having pale blue scales and centuries of knowledge in her eyes, delivers a chilling message: do not attack the humans. They will reduce your empire to ashes. This moment is critical because it conveys two things simultaneously: the humans' potential for devastating power and the fact that even other alien species recognize the threat they pose. The use of a neutral or third-party alien as the messenger is important. It shows that the danger of humanity is so universally acknowledged that it transcends species rivalries and political agendas. The response from Admiral Karath and his officers illustrates the hubris and overconfidence that will ultimately lead to their downfall. Karath dismisses the warning as an empty threat, a natural reaction for a civilization that has never been seriously challenged. This arrogance establishes the tension for the story. The reader immediately understands that the Tharnok are about to learn a hard lesson about human capability. The aliens' laughter and derision also serve as a narrative tool to highlight the stark contrast between perceived and actual power, a hallmark of HFY storytelling. Part 1 is also important for setting the emotional tone. There is an undercurrent of unease running through the alien crew, subtly conveyed through their nervous whispers and the Admiral's internal doubt. While the humans remain enigmatic and silent, the Tharnok's confidence begins to crack, signaling to the reader that a confrontation is imminent. This tension builds anticipation. The story invites readers to wonder how these seemingly outmatched humans will confront an empire that believes itself unstoppable. In addition to world-building and tension, Part 1 establishes key HFY themes. One central idea is human adaptability and ingenuity. The aliens sense something different about the humans, something intangible that defies conventional analysis. The narrative emphasizes that human strength does not reside solely in technology or numbers, but in qualities that are difficult for other species to measure: courage, creativity, adaptability, and an unshakable will. Another theme is the danger of underestimating humans. The Tharnok, like many other species in HFY stories, are blind to the potential of a species they perceive as primitive. This sets the stage for dramatic irony, where the audience knows the humans are far more formidable than the aliens realize. Finally, Part 1 functions as a narrative hook. It establishes the stakes, introduces the key players, and foreshadows the catastrophic consequences of ignoring humanity's capabilities. the reader is left with a sense of foreboding. The humans have arrived, and the galaxy's arrogance toward them is about to be shattered. By ending the part with the aliens' dismissive laughter, the story effectively primes the audience for the coming conflict while highlighting the theme that appearances can be dangerously deceiving. In summary, Part 1 of The Alien's Warning accomplishes several crucial storytelling goals. It introduces the setting, the central conflict, and the key characters while simultaneously establishing humanity as an underestimated, mysterious force. Through the alien's perspective, the story emphasizes themes of hubris, warning, and the unseen potential of humans. This sets a strong foundation for the narrative, ensuring that when the humans act in the subsequent parts, their power and ingenuity will be both surprising and believable. The story marks the first major confrontation between the humans and the Tharnok Empire, and it is where the narrative shifts from tension-building to dramatic action. This section is crucial because it demonstrates the stark contrast between human ingenuity and the aliens' conventional approach to warfare. Further reinforcing the HFY, humans are special theme, the part begins with the Tharnok fleet launching their initial assault. Plasma beams and advanced weaponry are fired at the human ships, representing the overwhelming power and military confidence of the Tharnok. They rely on what they know best: raw firepower, numerical superiority, and intimidation. From the aliens' perspective, this should have been a swift victory. Their doctrine assumes that any species with inferior technology or smaller fleets would crumble under the might of the Tharnok Empire. However, the humans do not react as expected. Instead of retreating or panicking, the human ships maneuver with a calm, deliberate precision that surprises the alien observers. They dodge attacks with an almost uncanny foresight, implying that they anticipate the Tharnok's strategies in real time. This moment is critical for establishing one of the core HFY themes: human adaptability and ingenuity. Unlike the Tharnok, humans do not rely solely on superior technology or force. They combine observation, improvisation, and rapid decision-making to outmaneuver a far larger and more heavily armed opponent. The narrative emphasizes that the humans' counterattack is not chaotic or reckless. Their fighters intercept Tharnok warships with surgical precision, disabling key systems such as engines and communication arrays. Unlike traditional alien warfare, which prioritizes overwhelming destruction, humans focus on efficiency and tactical advantage. By neutralizing ships without unnecessary collateral damage, they demonstrate strategic intelligence, restraint, and an ability to maximize their limited resources. This approach further highlights the HFY motif. Humans are clever, resourceful, and capable of achieving outsized results despite apparent limitations. Admiral Karath's reaction is also significant. He experiences disbelief and frustration as his fleet suffers unexpected losses. The human approach to combat defies his empire's centuries-old doctrines, forcing him to confront the reality that raw power is not always enough to secure victory. This internal conflict within the Tharnok leadership adds depth to the story, showing that the humans' influence extends beyond the battlefield. It forces even the most confident alien commanders to question their assumptions and strategies. Karath's muttered disbelief. Impossible. They're adapting faster than our simulations, signals a turning point in the narrative. The humans are not just surviving, they are dominating, not through brute force, but through ingenuity and adaptability. Part 2 also serves to reinforce dramatic tension and foreshadow future events. The aliens begin to realize that their initial arrogance may have been misplaced. The repeated defeats shake the Tharnok fleet's confidence, setting up the psychological stakes for subsequent parts. The story emphasizes that humans are not merely strong. They are unpredictable, adaptive, and extraordinarily effective under pressure. This builds suspense for the reader. If the humans can dismantle an entire alien fleet so efficiently in the first battle, what might they achieve? In larger, more critical confrontations, the emissary's second message to the Tharnak fleet deepens the narrative's HFY impact. "We warned you. Humanity does not fight like you expect. You cannot imagine the cost of your pride." This communication reinforces the story's moral lesson. Underestimating humans is fatal. The warning also serves a narrative purpose by providing a reflective moment for both the characters and the audience. While the Tharnak are forced to confront their hubris, the reader gains insight into the humans' philosophy and approach to conflict, emphasizing intelligence, efficiency, and an unshakable will rather than sheer aggression. Additionally, Part 2 highlights another HFY trait: human composure under pressure. Even as the Tharnak unleash devastating attacks, the humans remain calm, coordinated, and purposeful. This contrasts sharply with the alien forces, whose panic and disbelief begin to undermine their tactical cohesion. The juxtaposition of human confidence and alien fear illustrates a recurring HFY theme. Human mental resilience and courage often exceed alien expectations. In conclusion, Part 2 establishes the humans as formidable not because of their ships or weapons, but because of their strategy, adaptability, and calm under pressure. It reinforces the central HFY theme that humans are of the story is pivotal because it elevates the narrative from initial confrontation to a deeper exploration of humanity's unique capabilities, while highlighting the Tharnak Empire's growing desperation. This section focuses on how humans are not just strong, they are fundamentally different in approach, mindset, and adaptability, which sets them apart from all other species in the galaxy. The part opens in the aftermath of the first strike, with the Tharnak Empire struggling to comprehend the humans' unconventional tactics. From the aliens' perspective, the humans are inexplicably effective. The humans do not rely on sheer numbers or overwhelming firepower. Instead, they anticipate, adapt, and exploit weaknesses in ways that alien strategists cannot predict. This emphasizes a core HFY theme. Humans are exceptional not because of technology alone, but because of creativity, intelligence, and the ability to improvise in real time. The narrative describes humans as rewriting the rules of war. This phrase is significant because it conveys the idea that humanity is not merely fighting within the traditional constraints of galactic combat. They are redefining what is possible. Alien ships, tactics, and doctrines have evolved over centuries, yet humans encounter each obstacle with fresh solutions, combining offense, defense, and environmental adaptation seamlessly. By highlighting these qualities, Part 3 reinforces the HFY motif that humans are underestimated due to their unconventional thinking and refusal to conform to alien expectations. The aliens' growing unease is a critical component of this part. Admiral Karath convenes a council to analyze the humans' capabilities. His question, "What do they have that we don't?" encapsulates the central tension. The human's strength is intangible, defying conventional measurement. The older advisor's response, that humans' mentality and willingness to commit fully to action are frightening, provides insight into the narrative's psychological dimension. Unlike the Tharnak, who rely heavily on established protocols and hierarchical decision-making, humans act with initiative, adaptability, and courage under pressure. Their unpredictability undermines the Tharnak's confidence and forces them to question assumptions that have governed their empire for centuries. This section also emphasizes the human's strategic efficiency. Part 3 details how human forces grow stronger after each encounter rather than weakening. They learn from mistakes, integrate environmental hazards into their strategy, and turn adversity into advantage. For example, alien obstacles such as asteroid, fields, orbital debris, or plasma storms are not hindrances. They become part of the human's tactical approach. This reinforces another HFY trait. Humans are resourceful, capable of turning even disadvantage into opportunity, a quality that alien civilizations find both baffling and terrifying. Moreover, Part 3 demonstrates the psychological impact of humans on their adversaries. The Tharnok, previously confident in their superiority, now experience doubt, fear, and a creeping sense of inevitability. Their whispers of caution, "Perhaps the warning was true. Perhaps this species cannot be stopped once they decide to act," show that human reputation and performance are already reshaping alien perceptions. By portraying the aliens' psychological deterioration, the story highlights that humans' strength extends beyond physical or technological prowess. Their mere presence and ability to defy expectations can destabilize entire empires. Another key element in Part 3 is the escalation of stakes. As the humans demonstrate their superiority in multiple skirmishes, the Tharnok Empire faces a growing crisis. The narrative conveys not only the effectiveness of humans in battle, but also the inevitability of their victory if underestimated. This part functions as a bridge between the initial engagement, Part 2, and the climactic destruction of the Tharnok fleet, Part 4. It builds tension by showing that the aliens' arrogance is eroding and that human ingenuity is relentless, adaptive, and unmatched. Additionally, Part 3 emphasizes the contrast between alien and human approaches to warfare. While the Tharnok rely on established doctrines, hierarchy, and brute force, humans operate with decentralized coordination, creativity, and unflinching resolve. This distinction reinforces the HFY principle. Humans succeed because they think differently, innovate under pressure, and refuse to be constrained by conventional expectations. The aliens' inability to predict or counter human tactics becomes a narrative device to highlight the vast gulf between species, making humans appear almost supernaturally capable without resorting to exaggerated powers. In conclusion, Part 3 solidifies the story's central HFY themes: human adaptability, intelligence, resourcefulness, and psychological impact on adversaries. The Tharnok Empire begins to recognize that they are not merely facing a military opponent. They are facing a species that defies expectation, redefines the rules of engagement, and threatens to dismantle their sense of superiority. This section deepens the tension, heightens the stakes, and sets the stage for the climactic devastation of the Tharnok Empire in Part 4, making it clear that underestimating humans is a fatal mistake. Represents the climactic turning point in the story, where humanity's latent power is fully revealed and the consequences of underestimating them become undeniable. This section is crucial because it shifts from the humans demonstrating tactical superiority in skirmishes to the full-scale annihilation of an entire alien empire. Here, the story fully embodies the HFY, humans are special theme. Humans are not only capable, but unstoppable when pushed to defend themselves or assert dominance. The section begins with the setup of the final battle above Tharnok Prime, the heart of the Empire. By concentrating the conflict at the Empire's core, the narrative heightens the stakes, emphasizing that what is at risk is not just a fleet, but the civilization itself. The Tharnok marshal all available forces, confident that their sheer numbers, firepower, and advanced technology will crush the human fleet in a decisive strike. This overconfidence is a hallmark of HFY storytelling. It demonstrates that the humans are facing an opponent who believes in absolute superiority, making the eventual human triumph even more impactful. What follows is a detailed depiction of humanity's extraordinary combat strategy. Despite being outnumbered and facing technologically superior adversaries, the humans operate with precision, intelligence, and coordination that the Tharnok cannot counter. Every human maneuver is deliberate and tactical, highlighting qualities that transcend raw strength, strategic thinking, adaptability, and psychological acumen. Unlike the alien forces who rely on predictable doctrines, the humans innovate in real time. They exploit weaknesses in Tharnok defenses that had gone unnoticed for centuries, using not just weapons, but ingenuity and environment to their advantage. This establishes the HFY theme that human intelligence and creativity are forces more powerful than conventional military might. Part 4 emphasizes the methodical nature of the human's assault. The Tharnok fleet is systematically dismantled. Ships are not destroyed haphazardly. They are neutralized efficiently, often by turning their own systems against them. Orbital weapons are hacked, stations are captured or disabled, and enemy formations are disrupted with surgical precision. The narrative stresses that this is not chaos. It is control, mastery, and a calculated approach to total victory. The human's ability to impose order on the battlefield while simultaneously wreaking destruction exemplifies a unique combination of discipline and ingenuity, reinforcing the HFY principle that humans excel where others rely solely on power. The psychological impact on the Tharnok is a central focus. As their fleet crumbles, panic spreads, and their confidence collapses. Ships that were once symbols of dominance are reduced to drifting wreckage, and entire crews are left stunned into inaction. The story vividly portrays the horror and disbelief of the Tharnok. They have fought countless wars, conquered countless worlds, yet they are utterly unprepared for humanity. This illustrates a recurring HFY motif. Humans inspire awe and fear, not just through force, but by defying expectations and shattering the arrogance of civilizations that underestimate them. Another significant aspect of Part 4 is the human's restraint and measured approach. Even as they devastate the Tharnok forces, they do not indiscriminately slaughter. Their actions are purposeful, targeted, and strategic. This restraint underscores another HFY theme. Human strength is coupled with intelligence and morality. They are formidable, but they wield power with a sense of purpose, further highlighting the contrast with the alien empire, whose confidence has been eroded into fear and chaos. The climactic destruction culminates with a final, awe-inspiring moment. The Tharnok fleet and infrastructure are annihilated, leaving the empire in literal and figurative ashes. The story emphasizes the scale of humanity's dominance, portraying the aftermath as both terrifying and meticulous. The alien command, led by Admiral Karath, is forced to confront the reality that their civilization has been utterly dismantled, not through brute force alone, but through superior strategy, adaptability, and human ingenuity. Finally, Part 2 Sati, or reinforces the narrative's moral lesson. Arrogance and underestimation in the face of humanity are fatal. The human emissary's calm transmission, "You were warned. Do not mistake our patience for weakness," underscores the story's central HFY message: humans are not only powerful but intelligent. The story serves as the resolution and aftermath of the humans' decisive actions against the Tharnok Empire. This section is essential because it shifts the focus from destruction to consequence, showing not only the humans' overwhelming power, but also their intelligence, restraint, and the long-lasting effect they have on the galaxy. Here, the HFY, humans are special, themes of ingenuity, moral judgment, and the unique psychological impact of humanity are fully realized. The section opens after the cataclysmic final battle of Part 4, with the Tharnok Empire reduced to literal and metaphorical ashes. Entire fleets, orbital defenses, and strategic infrastructure have been obliterated, leaving the Empire in disarray. Yet, instead of pursuing domination or conquest, the humans do something unexpected. They communicate, negotiate, and establish terms. This is significant for several reasons. First, it underscores a recurring HFY theme. Humans are not driven solely by aggression or expansion. Their strength is complemented by a sense of purpose and reasoning. While they are capable of annihilation, on an unprecedented scale, they wield that power judiciously. Their goal is not mindless destruction, but to enforce respect and ensure survival. This restraint differentiates humans from alien civilizations, highlighting that what makes them formidable is not just their strength, but their judgment in applying it. The narrative describes the humans offering knowledge, boundaries, and terms to the surviving Tharnak. This shows a calculated combination of mercy and strategy. Humans recognize that a fully conquered civilization is both costly and unnecessary. Instead, they assert their dominance while allowing the remnants of the Tharnak to survive under conditions dictated by human authority. This approach exemplifies another HFY trait. Humans think long-term and strategically. Their actions are designed to establish lasting order and respect without relying solely on fear or annihilation, demonstrating a level of sophistication beyond what most alien species anticipate. A critical moment in this section involves Admiral Karath, the Tharnak commander. After witnessing the total defeat of his fleet and the destruction of his empire, he is forced to reassess everything he thought he knew about warfare, strength, and intelligence. His realization that humans are not only physically and technologically capable, but also mentally and strategically superior, reinforces the story's HFY message. Humans cannot be underestimated. Karath's awe is symbolic of the galaxy's broader recognition of humanity's unique qualities. In HFY literature, this motif is common. The human's presence alone shifts the balance of power and compels even the most arrogant civilizations to acknowledge their supremacy. The story also emphasizes the psychological impact humans have on the surviving aliens. Across the galaxy, the tale of humanity's precision, efficiency, and restraint spreads rapidly. The reputation of humans evolves from curiosity and underestimation to awe and fear. Empires and civilizations learn a crucial lesson: to challenge humans is to invite annihilation. Yet, unlike traditional conquerors, humans do not inspire terror purely through indiscriminate violence. They are respected for their intelligence, strategy, and adaptability. This combination of awe and fear is a hallmark of HFY storytelling, illustrating that human uniqueness lies in the integration of strength, creativity, and moral agency. Part 5 also serves a narrative purpose by providing closure and reflection. The human's restraint after total victory underscores a contrast between brute force and thoughtful action. While they could have fully enslaved or exterminated the Tharnak, they choose to leave survivors and communicate terms, reinforcing the idea that human superiority is multidimensional. Their actions are decisive yet principled, demonstrating that true power includes the ability to control outcomes without succumbing to needless cruelty. Finally, the section reinforces the story's moral and thematic conclusion. Humans have reshaped the galaxy not through domination for its own sake, but by demonstrating that their combination of adaptability, intelligence, moral judgment, and unflinching courage is unmatched. The concluding line, "We warned you. Now, you know," encapsulates the essence of HFY storytelling. Humanity is not merely a species. It is a force of nature, a civilization that demands respect and caution from all others. The galaxy's reaction, fear, awe, and recognition serves as a testament to the enduring impact of human actions, confirming that underestimating humanity is a fatal error. In summary, Part 5 ties together all the narrative threads of the story: humans' ingenuity, adaptability, strategic brilliance, and moral restraint. It shows that their power extends beyond physical or technological might to psychological and cultural influence. Through their actions, they establish themselves as a unique and unstoppable force in the galaxy, leaving a lasting legacy that reshapes how every civilization perceives and approaches them. The HFY theme reaches its fullest expression here. Humans are exceptional, not because they seek conquest, but because their capabilities, judgment, and resilience make them fundamentally unlike any other species in the universe.